Dawn in the savannah, Kitty's entrance and tragedy. The sun rose over the African savannah, casting a golden hue across the vast landscape. A new day began, filled with the promise of life and adventure. In a hidden den, a lioness gently nudged her tiny cub, Kitty, encouraging her to greet the morning. The bond between mother and cub was unbreakable. Life was precious, a fragile dance in the wilderness where every moment was a gift. The savannah was both a playground and a battleground. Kitty, with her soft paws and innocent eyes, represented hope and the future of her pride. Her playful antics brought joy to the heart of the savannah. She was the future of her pride, a symbol of continuity and survival. But the tranquility of the morning was soon to be shattered. The silence of the savannah was broken by the sudden, terrifying sound of gunshots. Terror filled the air and the peaceful morning turned into chaos. The earth trembled with the weight of approaching danger, as the once serene landscape became a scene of impending doom. Poachers, driven by greed and a lust for profit, descended upon the pride with ruthless intent. Their presence was a dark shadow over the savannah. Kitty's mother, filled with a fierce protectiveness, hid her cub in a thicket of bushes, hoping to shield her from the imminent threat. "Run, little one!" Her eyes seemed to plead as she urged Kitty to flee to safety. The love of a mother knows no bounds. Then, with a roar that shook the ground and echoed through the savannah, she charged at the intruders, sacrificing herself to give Kitty a chance at life. The light faded from the savannah as the day turned to dusk and the shadows grew longer. Darkness fell upon Kitty's world, enveloping the savannah in a blanket of sorrow and loss. The poachers, their cruel deed done, vanished into the night, leaving behind a silence that screamed of loss and heartbreak. Kitty, all alone, whimpered softly, her tiny body trembling with fear and confusion. Her cries echoed through the emptiness, unanswered, a haunting reminder of the tragedy that had befallen her family in the savannah. A promise whispered Sam's arrival and Kitty's rescue. Sam, a seasoned conservationist, had dedicated his life to protecting Africa's wildlife. His days were spent under the vast skies, his eyes always scanning the horizon for any signs of trouble. He knew the poachers' ways, their ruthlessness, and the devastation they left behind. The scars on the land were a constant reminder of the battles fought and lost. Drawn by a whisper of danger, a rumor from local villagers, he ventured into the savannah's heart. The villagers spoke of strange movements, of shadows lurking where they shouldn't be. He followed the trail of destruction, his heart heavy with each step. The savannah mourned, its beauty marred by the cruelty of man. The stench of death filled the air, a grim testament to the poacher's greed. Then he heard it, a sound that cut through the oppressive silence, a soft whimper, a sound that pierced through the silence of loss. It was faint, almost drowned by the wind, but unmistakable. He found Kitty huddled in the bushes, tiny and trembling. Her small frame was barely visible among the leaves. Her eyes, wide with fear, mirrored the tragedy she had witnessed. They were the eyes of innocence, now tainted by the horrors of the world. Sam felt a surge of protectiveness, a vow forming on his lips. He couldn't let this innocent creature fall victim to the same fate as so many others. He would save this cub. He would be her guardian, her protector in this unforgiving land. He would give her back the life that was stolen, a life filled with the freedom to roam, to grow, and to thrive. Scooping her gently into his arms, he whispered a promise of safety, of a future free from fear. "Don't worry, little one, you're safe now." His voice was soft, soothing, a balm to her frightened soul. In his embrace, Kitty found solace, the warmth of his body, the steady beat of his heart. It all spoke of security. She was too young to understand, but she sensed kindness in his touch, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. In that moment, a bond was formed, one that would change both their lives forever. The Wilderness Cradle, growing up with Sam. In the heart of the African wilderness, where the sun sets in a blaze of orange and gold, a unique story unfolds. Sam's camp became Kitty's sanctuary. It was a place where the boundaries between man and beast blurred, and a bond like no other began to form. A makeshift enclosure woven from sturdy branches and soft hay became her haven. This simple structure provided her with safety and comfort, a place to grow and thrive. He bottle-fed her, coaxing her to eat, his heart swelling with each purr of contentment. Every feeding session was a step towards trust, a moment of connection. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The passage of time was marked by her growth, her transformation from a fragile cub to a spirited young lioness. Kitty grew stronger, her playful nature emerging. She would chase after Sam, pouncing and tumbling, her energy boundless and infectious. Sam created a stimulating environment for her, filled with climbing structures made from fallen logs and old tires. These makeshift toys became her playground, a place to hone her skills. He taught her to stalk, hiding treats in the tall grass, encouraging her natural instincts. Each hidden treat was a lesson in survival, a step towards independence. Their bond deepened with each passing day. They communicated in a language beyond words, a silent understanding that spoke of trust and companionship. Sam shared his love for the wilderness with her, teaching her the sounds of the savannah, the calls of the wild. He wanted her to know the world she would one day return to. He knew his role was temporary. His heart ached at the thought, but he was determined to prepare her for the life she was meant to lead. He was preparing her for the day she would return to where she truly belonged, the wild. It was a bittersweet task, filled with pride and sorrow, but for now they had each other. Their days were filled with shared adventures, moments of joy and discovery under the vast African sky. Their unlikely friendship blossomed, a testament to the power of love and compassion in the face of adversity. It was a bond that transcended species, a story of hope and resilience. But in a tragic twist of fate, Kitty's wild instincts took over. In a moment of confusion and primal urge, she turned on Sam, her powerful jaws closing around his head. The wilderness, once a cradle of their bond, became the stage for a heartbreaking end. The sun set on their story, a reminder of the untamed nature of the wild,